Now it is. Thanks for reminding.
नहीं
The window portion over here. Yeah. So that's the window portion there. Correct. When that window portion is done, I'll just make some chair and I will just start with the painting.
Varun, what have you done on the left side?
Which one? Yeah.
On the left side of the window, on the sill.
So left. Oh, this one.
नीचे ये आपने स्क्वायर सा क्या बनाया?
This one, right? This one. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a thing over here. I mean, there's a strip coming like this, and so that is going to turn over there.
Right,
this
right.
is this portion right over here.
Fine, fine, fine. I thought कोई डब्बा है.
No. This line has to be a bit straight now. So just doing this. I'm just about to complete this window and I'll make the chair. So it's time to make the chair now. Wait, wait. The chair over here. Chair has to be done perfectly because I would say that's the one of the main thing in this painting, which is just going to show the beauty. I mean, the highlights on that thing and all. That is the only thing which will just show the beauty in this. Just writing on the school. The chair over here, the sitting portion of that. This way. Then the legs of the chair over here. And again the sitting place. Then again this legs over here. It's done almost. Then the chair again. This way. So I think it's almost done. I'll just make a highlights line and all. That would be completed. This is how the lights have become from that place. It actually comes like this. I mean, just for your knowledge, I would just so like from here it starts. So it's going to be like this. Even from here, when from here it's gonna be like this. So the same line you can make over here from here to here and make that. So like this way, you just get a very good idea. The legs are coming from behind this. That's the highlighted portion, and this as well. You got a lot of interactions and all. I mean, intersections over here. So you're gonna make that small thing over here, and of course the side of the chair as well. It's going to be here. Like this, and here again, I would say that's not too much visible though. Still, I'll make a bit over here. So then again, this is a highlight. A small portion is highlighted a bit. I would say it's overlap with the leaves actually. So it's just this highlights are coming from out of those leaves actually from that place. So it's gonna be a bit difficult to leave this. So we have to be very careful, I would say. So it's almost done. What is left is just to make some leaves over here. That's it. I'm just completed with this. Just make few leaves and we just start with that. Some linings over here. So this linings and all, I mean, there's barriers over here. And the last one. And this way. And there's just some leaves. That's the last thing what I'll make here. There's just some leaves over here, which has to be done perfectly because that is just the beauty of this painting. That leaves are just going to increase a lot of beauty. So let's just make some lines over here. Yeah, just at last, this is the last thing what I'm doing. That's done actually. Some leaves over here because this is a very important thing. So try to make each and leaf separately how we can, because this thing would be one of the most important thing because there's no color in this painting. This painting is going to show some colors and like it's very good and very bright color as well. So that's the complete beauty of this painting. So a lot of detailing I will do here. If anything you feel you have done wrong in your sketch, you can make it correct. Although I'm gonna see that, but still if you see anything mistake, you can just recorrect or meanwhile I'm just sketching. Go further. Let's go like some linings. Okay, so it's done now, I think so. Right. Then some leaves. There's this way a little bit, some more leaves over here, a little bit of the top, a little bit randomly. And I think it's done. Some leaves just covering up this the chair as well at some places. If you have masking fluid, you can just use a bit of masking fluid over here. I mean, at the edges of the chair, if you see there's a white highlighted thing, so you can just do that thing. I mean, there's a edges of the chair, if you see, it's very highlighted, so you can use a masking fluid over there if you're having. Otherwise, I'm gonna do it naturally, so don't worry, you can go along with me as well.
Varun, can you explain once again? Sorry, I missed that the reflection on the floor, windows, car, that. How you
On
did?
this one, the sketching.
Yes, yes. Can you explain again?
Yeah, it's gonna be like first of all, this all this lines what we're gonna make, it's going to be parallel of the above wall what we have made. This wall line, I mean this the wall where is ending, this line and this shadow line is going to be parallel. This highlighted line. So that's the only thing you have to remember. So just after that, I mean, just I'm not giving it very grammatically, but just simply to make it perfect, just go parallel to this line. Just simply go parallel to this line, and this line after that the side of the chair. I'll just show you in this one. So if you just go parallel with this there's a shadow of the chair over there. So you can just make a straight line. Now all the lines are going to be parallel of this one. This line, this line of the chair and all. But just for your, I mean, you can make a line from here to here like this everywhere. So you'll get the same in this edges are going to touch that thing. If you make a straight line from here to the end point over here, so you'll get a straight line from this place. And just one thing you have to remember that this line and this line is parallel. So your that highlight is going to look perfect. There's nothing going to according to your perspective, it's not going to be wrong.
Oh.
There's one thing only you have to remember. It has to be parallel with that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So just move further. I'll just do a bit of more detailings. Not a lot of detailings are left. I mean, there's some dry leaves for like fell over here. I mean, there's some dry leaves kept over there, so you can just make something over there. I mean, there's some dry leaves over here, a little bit spread here. We don't have to sketch though. I mean, we don't have to detail too much, but still a little bit of work you can still do on that. We're gonna use a lot of colors actually in this flow portion. So I think we have to be even very careful. We have to take a lot of water as well. We have to go with a lot of water. I mean, we have to just keep it watery, very transparent.
Varun, do you have to use masking fluid for the dried leaves also?
No,
Do you need to use
no,
masking
no.
fluid for the
Dry leaf, we're
dry
gonna
leaves?
give it directly. We don't need to do that. Just the edges, or just the edges. If you see the edges of the chair, that fish you have to use. Okay.
Which edges are you talking about?
If you
Which
see this,
edges?
if you see this here,
Okay.
I think that is enough. That is the only thing which is quite difficult to leave. Even we can do it naturally, but if you're having, you can go with that.
What about the roof, Varun? We will be doing the roof like the way it is. It's quite ugly.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I mean, that is going to give you some artistic look. Which roof you are talking? This one, the seam, huh?
Ceiling, जो उखड़ा हुआ है.
Yeah, that will be. We're gonna do that. I mean, that is even one of the beauty part of this painting.
I know, but it's quite.
I mean, we're not going to do that much, but still a little bit at some places.
नहीं ठीक है. Peeled off.
Yeah. So my sketch is done now. I'll just check the sketches what I have sent, and then we'll start the painting. I'll just done. All the highlights we have to be very, very careful. And what else? I think everything is done. So I'll just check the sketches now. Doing this thing. Yeah, it's done. That's it. So you can see the whole sketch over here. This is my sketch now. We've got a lot of some wires, some kind of rope or tied at the background, and make that later while painting only. So as of now, this thing is done. This thing is done. If anything else, yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'll just check the sketches. If you haven't sent, you can send me the sketch again. I'm just checking the sketch again. So yeah, Sonal, can you hear me?
Sir,
Just one thing that the end line of the chair, what you have made, this
थोड़ा
line.
छोटा है. It has to be long, right?
Yeah,
tell.
not yeah, it has to be long as well. And this line, what you have made it in a circular way. You don't. It's not going to be in a circular way. Just make it like this, straight. I mean, you have made it in a little bit round way, so you can just make it a little bit coming from here, simply straight, and then again there.
Yes, it will become long also then.
Yeah, a little bit longer in this line only. If you make a straight line from here, or if you make a parallel line from here, I mean parallel to this line, if you just make a parallel line from here to here, so it has to be in this line only.
Okay, yes.
Check. Raj, your sketch seems good. Just make some leaves. You haven't done the leaves, I think.
Yeah, I did it right now.
And just one more thing, the highlight thing. I mean, it has to be parallel with this.
Yeah, that also
the highlight line.
I corrected that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Check another one. Just a minute. One minute. Gitika, you can just make some leaves. I think you haven't made that.
Okay.
And you can make those lines a little bit lighter. I mean, those stems, what you have made, those lines, you can make them lighter. I mean, that might interrupt. Okay.
Yeah.
And just line for the highlights, how it is coming. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Arjun, can you please check my sketch?
yeah, I'm checking. Yeah, I'm checking. 1 minute. Since your sketch seems fine, just make some leaves over there.
Okay, I'm already adding.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that was just the cat. Sorry. Okay. My side seems fine. Your sketch seems fine.
Thank you.
Yes, Neha, your sketch seems fine, and Yeah, it's good. I think it's good. I will do.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wants to send a sketch? Can we start with the painting then?
Yes, please.
Sydney,
You
have you
also
sent?
please send your sketch in the group now.
Yeah, I'll send it. Just let me take a photo. Just give me a minute. Let me take a photo. Oh, just have a look. I've sent there. Is it there?
Yes, Varun.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So I've sent the sketch. I'm gonna start with the painting then. Or let me just put over this masking tape. So it got a bit late. And anyway, we'll start. Or just if you think that you can make your pencils a little bit lighter, whatever, however it is visible, you can just make it lighter. It looks very darker anyway. In mine as well, I'll make it lighter with my eraser. Just going this. So I'm just repeating the colors. After this, we'll just start. So the colors we need saline blue. Saline blue, light saline blue, we're gonna need that.
Varun, nearest to cerulean blue would be
Cobalt blue.
okay.
Yeah. So then the another color we need is ultramarine blue. French ultramarine blue or either simple ultramarine blue. Anyone will do.
Varun, what is the difference between French and normal ultramarine blue?
No, like it's there's no much different. Just about it's about the pigments. I mean, in French ultramarine you'll get more pigments. In ultramarine blue, it's a little bit less. That's it.
You can use that, no? French
Yeah,
ultramarine.
you can go with anyone.
Varun, can we use turquoise here?
Turquoise, where in the wall portion.
Yes.
You can use that, but I'll be using saline blue. If you want, you can go with that.
Okay.
The color even which I'm going to apply is even that is going to look like turquoise later, like which I'll be using. I'll flow first of all lemon yellow, then I'm gonna flow that saline blue over there. So I think even that will look like somehow like turquoise blue only.
Okay.
So if you want, you can go with that, or otherwise you can go with maple. Sorry. So saline blue, ultramarine blue, then we need burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is going to be needed there. Burnt sienna. Okay, burnt sienna we need. Then violet color. Another very important color in today's painting. Violet is gonna be used a lot as well. So need to get that. Violet. So, yeah, violet. Even sap green we already like you can see that we have some plants and also we need some sap green as well. Sap green is going to be used. Even if you're having radiant green as well, even we might use that as well in some plants area. Plants portion. If you mix lemon yellow with radiant green, you get very fresh leaves. I mean very bright color leaves. So with that looks very amazing.
Varun, will you use Naples yellow for that peeled off roof?
Which one instead of?
For the peeled off roof, will you be using Naples yellow?
Which one?
वो जो छत उखड़ी हुई है ना walls पे.
Yeah, we can use a little bit of maple chill over there.
Okay.
Violet color, sap green, radiant green, then you need a bit of vermilion. Although there's no vermilion in this, but still at some places can get that a little bit. Vermilion. Vermilion. Then orange color. Orange color is going to be used actually for the floor and for the chairs over there. The chairs which are kept. So I'm going to use a little bit of orange color.
Is vermilion same as scarlet?
Yeah, it's almost same.
It's not crimson, right?
No, it's not crimson. It's almost same to the vermilion.
Okay.
I mean, it's near to that vermilion here. Crimson Lake after that. Crimson Lake, even that is going to be used. We have got a lot of dark things in this place. So we need that as well. I mean, Crimson Lake color. Crimson Lake. Then after that, you need burnt umber, another very, very important color. Burnt umber. That is going to be used a lot because everything is there with burnt umber only. So that is going to be used a lot. Burnt umber. Then, of course, you need lemon yellow. We're gonna use a lot of lemon yellow as well. Lemon yellow also is going to be used a lot because we've got that wall portion of blue color. I'm going to use the yellow first, then over that I'll be using blue. So lemon yellow is going to also going to be used a lot. Then after that, you need yellow ochre, lemon yellow, and then yellow ochre. And maybe at some places, if you're having, you can go with the gambos here if you need. And that's it. Anything else? No, I think that's it. That's what we need. So can we start, everyone?
Yes, please.
So we're gonna start with the paint. So first of all, like how I'm gonna go with this, I'll just show you that. First layer is gonna be quite easy. First layer or we don't have to do too much of work. So I would say first layer is gonna be easy. The main tricky thing is going to be our second layer. So I'll just show you the first layer very quickly. I mean, there's nothing actually in that. Sorry. Actually, main thing is going to be done in the second layer. So that is quite more important. First of all, I'll just erase the lines, whatever the square lines, whatever the square lines are there. I'll just erase those lines over here. Okay. Just make the lines a little bit lighter. Okay, that's it. So, yeah. So I'll just show you very quickly on the rough paper that how we have to like what we have to do in this. I will just show you now. Got a rough paper. So I'm just going to show you the first thing. First layer, it's gonna be very, very easy. We don't have to use any kind of dark color. We just have to go with very, very light color, almost like yellow shade again here as well. We don't have to go with any other color in this as well. So I'll just show you like this is the window portion. So the window portion is gonna be highlighted one. Just mute yourself. Yeah. So the window portion is gonna be a little bit highlighted one. That's the one thing which we have to be very, very careful. Like this is a window portion, just simply I've just sketched here. Just the outlines over here. Like simply this is a sketch. So I'll just show you that what you have to do in the first layer. First layer, I would say it's very, very easy. Just simply take the very, very light lemon that yellow ochre color, that very, very lightly over there. Just take it very, very lightly. It has to be with a lot of water. I mean, just a lot of water. It should almost look like a white only, that much lighter. It has to be that much light. Just take a lot of water and this light yellow ochre. A lot of water, yellow ochre. And you have to use the same color over here as well on this land portion because we are using very, very light color. So you can even go with that as well. Very lightly I've done this. Just a very light colors. Then a little bit of cerulean blue I'll just take. Very light cerulean blue. I'll just paint over this edge over here. Just the edge. This is how I'm gonna paint this. The background is quite easy. I mean, I'll not work on that. I'll just work on this separately, whatever I have to. I'll just wet this portion. I'll just wet this portion or separately. And I'll just wet this portion. I'll use some gray kind of color over there. Gray kind of color. Or like very light violet color. There might be some leaves at the background, just to show that thing. It has to be like very light, because you have to use one more lighter layer of light green color later in the second layer. So it has to be this much lighter. I mean, it should look like there's a color over there. That's it. This is how we're going to do our first layer. So I'll just simply start with this. It's going to be very light. You can see there's no dark colors used anyway. You just have to avoid this thing here. No color should go here. I mean, when we are going to add that highlight, then here in this white portion, there should be no color over there as well. So we're gonna start with this. This is how we're gonna do it. We're just not using any color, nothing. We're gonna use it in the first layer, just like this, a very light layer. So I'm just starting. You can just start along with me.
Varun, basically everything but for the window is yellow ochre, right?
Yellow ochre, and but inside the window it's gonna be like very highlighted. You're not applying even the yellow ochre over there.
No, I'm saying other than the window, everything is yellow ochre.
Everything is very light yellow ochre. But just one thing you can do, that at that highlight area, you can reduce the quantity of yellow ochre and take more water, because here we just need almost white color. So if by mistakenly also the yellow ochre went a little bit more, so it's not going to look good.
Right. Thank you.
So I'll just start with it. Okay. Just wait for a second. Yeah, so I'm just starting to use very light yellow ochre. You just have to take very light yellow ochre as much as possible. Just take firstly I'm just making the mixer. I mean, on the palette, like I'm just making the sufficient mixer what I can use over there. You just have to go with that. You just make very light mixer. Okay, you have to get that very light mixers. Let's go with that. I'm just making very light mixer now. Just making a mixture. Yeah, so I made the mixer of very light yellow. If you want, even you can go with that nipples yellow if you want. So I'm just going with this very light here, very light yellow. You can see I'm just taking a lot of water, and you can take a very big brush. I mean, as much as possible, just take a very big. You can go with a flat brush, because we just need to cover a large area at a time. That's what we need to do. So you can go with a very large big brush, whatever you're having, and just go very lightly. It should almost look like a white color, only nothing. It should not be dark color at all. So I'm just going with this very light yellow, or very light yellow. I'm just using it very light. Try going very lightly and very loosely over there. So I'll just go with this. very lightly. Seeing very light. Okay, I'm just going with that. You can see how light I'm using. I've made a very thick pixel. I mean, I've taken a lot of water over here. You can see how transparent it is. If you take a bigger brush, even you can take a lot of water at a time. So even that thing helps you a lot. Very lightly here. Even at this blue portion, you can just go very lightly. No dark colors. If you use dark color, that is going to destroy your color, which you are going to add in the second layer. All the bright color, whatever you want to do, you'll not be able to do that. Take very light yellow. I'm not going over that. What do you say? I'm not going over that window portion as of now. I'll go on that later. Just take a lot of water. Just take a lot of water. I would say just be very careful when you're like closer to the highlight and when you're coming closer to the chair, because in the chair we have to leave some highlights over there. So I would say just a bit careful, and if possible try to leave white only. Even like that will be very helpful for you. Otherwise, even if you cover that doesn't, I mean that's not going to change too much of time. But if it's possible, you can leave some white over there if you haven't used the masking fluid. So I'll just go over that a little bit color on the chair as well. I'm trying to leave some white over there. But I'll be going over this shadow as well. I mean that highlight portion, but I'll just take water over there. So what will happen? That yellow of what I'm applying, even that will become more lighter than that. So because I don't want the darker color to be there, so I just made that color also lighter. Very light yellow of here. It's gonna be very light here as well. Just keep going with this light color.
Varun, here we'll do some dark shade of oxford. Yellow.
It's just just a little bit darker I've taken, but it might be looking just a little bit dark color. I mean, it's going to get lighter only. So we can go with the same, otherwise we can increase the quantity. That doesn't matter because it is going to be in a darker color later, so that doesn't matter. Here, because we are going to apply darker yellow only, so even if you're using a little bit darker yellow, that will not change too much of color. But here we're going to use that blue color, but if you use darker yellow over there, so that will change that blue color as well. So that's the reason I'm using it very light, and here we can use it in a darker as well. So this is our first layer. I would just do one thing. I mean, after doing everything, I'll just leave where the highlights are there. I'll just take a piece of my cloth and I'll just keep it over there. So what will happen? I'll just get a little bit of white highlighted thing over there. I just want to show some more proper highlights. So I just lift some color from there. Something like this. So that portion got a bit highlighted. That's what I needed. This way. Okay, that's our first layer for the wall portion. I'll go over that, what do you say, that portion or the inside that window portion. We just have to keep it very light. We don't have to use any dark color over there. We just have to be very careful. So as I told, first of all, I'll just simply wet that portion. And one more thing, before you go over there, Just one thing we missed here. I told to use a very light blue color as well here. Over that yellow ochre only, which is very light salient blue, very light salient blue. Or the edges, what you can see the edges over there, because we're not going to do anything in the second layer over there. So I would just prefer to do it in the first layer. Very light salient blue, nothing else. Just make a very light mixture of this salient blue here and take some water, a little bit of water. If you take a lot of water, again it will just spread completely. So just suggest that take a little bit of water and just leave it over here. So we'll get that light salient blue at some places. How we need. Even if it's spreading a little bit, that's completely okay, because the surrounding is going to be done in the more darker color. So that will not do any changes, but just a little bit of light salient blue is needed over there. Set. And when you now when you wash inside, you have to be very careful, and you don't have to cover that area. I mean, you don't have to go over that. So what I'll do, I'll just simply wet this inside portion, inside that window. But what I'll make sure that the upper blue color doesn't come in that touch, in this touch with this water. Otherwise, the whole blue color will come inside and will just flow. I mean, and it will destroy that whiteness of this thing. So I just don't want to do that. So I'll just take a bit of water, and as told, I'll take some violet color. Violet color. You just have to simply make the mixer. When you make the mixer, take a lot of water, the color gets lighter. And when you go on the paper, before going on the paper, you just have to remove the water, because you already know that in the wet on wet technique, we just take very less water in our brush. So this is a violet color. I've taken very lightly. You can see how light and how transparent it is. So you just have to get in this way. Okay. Here, very light violet color. And I'll move the water now before going on the main paper like this. I'll just remove the water a little bit, and I'll go on the main paper now. So what will happen when I'll apply the color, it's not going to spread anywhere. So I remove the water at some places, at some places only, not at every place. You don't have to cover every white thing. Just at some places in the shape of the leaves, you have to just leave some color over there, like this, some violet color. Where you have wetted the paper over there only, okay? Otherwise, you'll get hard edges, which will look like as a detail, and we don't need that. Thank you.
Is it only for the leaves area?
Or it's a violet color, just violet
No,
color.
is it only for the leaves area, you're saying?
No, it's not for the green area. It's behind the
leaf.
portion,
Leaves.
that white portion. It's not for the leaf portion.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's not the leaf portion. This is the leaf which is behind the leaves what we have sketched. So
Okay.
it's the behind portion.
Something like the shadow, is it?
Yeah.
Is it something for the shadow?
No, nothing like a shadow. I mean, it's a window portion. So behind the window, outside the window, there must be some trees and all. Might be some leaves. So it's just going to show that thing. The thing which is there in the background. I mean, there must be some trees. If you see carefully in the photograph, you'll see some of the trees which is there in the completely background, which is completely hazy.
Varun, which dark color is this?
This is that this one burnt umber with ultramarine blue and very light color, just like violet. Burnt umber and a bit of ultramarine blue. Just doing the same.
So this purple, this violet is all over the leaves, in between the leaves?
Yeah, it can go over that.
Or just
it can go over the leaves as well.
No, only in some portion, not all over.
No, only in some
the
portion, not
leaves.
completely. I mean, you can see the upper portion I've left completely highlighted. It's left highlighted. So only at some portion you have to do that.
Varun, this dark color where you're applying, you're not pre-wetting, right? The dark color that you're applying now, that you're not wetting first.
No, it's already wet. I mean, the whole portion is wet here.
And
It's
what
wet,
color was that?
It's
Sepia?
burnt umber with ultramarine blue. Very light
Can you
with
use
a lot of
sepia?
water.
Can
Yeah,
you
you
use
can go with the
sepia?
sepia as well. Yeah, sepia with ultramarine blue will also do.
With ultramarine.
Yeah. Just keep it very light. I mean, it's very dark now, but as soon as it will get dry, it will become lighter. We just have to keep it hazy. We don't have to make it darker. That's it. That's our first layer. Nothing much, just a very light layer. Let it dry now. So let it just dry completely. When it's completely wet, the second layer is gonna be important. We just have to work perfectly in the second layer. And now all the things we're just going to keep it connecting and we're just going to come down. But before we start anything, we're just going to start with our plants portion, the plants what we have got over there, because that's the lightest portion, and we have to start from the lightest portion what we have got, and then after that we have to start from the darker portion. First of all, the light thing, then after that you're gonna do the darker thing. Just waiting. Is it done? I mean, is it dried?
Yes, Varun.
Okay, mine it is still wet. I think I'll wait for a minute more.
Slightly, but
Okay, it has to be dried, especially that window portion, because we're gonna start from that.
I'm using this new paper that dries so fast that cerulean blue I applied, it is like hard edges now because paper was dried.
Okay, so it's gonna be difficult for you today because we have to do a lot of work in the.
even this paper which I've just started, Varun, it's Fabriano. So
Oh, which one?
do you know
Fabriano?
about this paper? Yes.
Okay, even that dries a bit faster only.
Yes, it dries fast.
Yeah, I've done with that. So even that paper will dry a bit fast. But I think you should try the Chitrapat one. I mean, you
It's
should go with the
rough.
Chitrapat only. I mean, it's very good for practice.
Right, but it had got over, so I got this one.
Okay, that's okay. But if possible, from next time you can go with the Chitrapat only.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thanks. You use, it's an Indian brand.
Which one?
I believe you use Aquatone, right?
Aquatone, yeah, color. Yeah, it's Indian brand.
Indian brand. Okay.
Yeah.
Because some of
Just-
your shades are pretty different from the Camel that I use.
Okay, I mean, mostly I'm using Aquatone, so it might be because of that. I mean, it is just recently launched in India.
Oh, it's newly launched. Okay.
Okay. Oh, just let it dry. It's still wet a little bit. Make it dry with a hair dryer.
Varun sent you first.
Yeah, I'll check. I'll check. That's good till now. That's going good.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just use the hair dryer. So we'll just start now. Let's try it for me now. Hope for everyone this portion is dry. We're gonna start with that plant with leaf portion. That is the lightest portion in the whole painting. So we're gonna start with that. Shall we? Can we go further?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Mine is still wet.
Yeah. Okay, so you can wait for a minute. I mean, this portion should be dried.
Okay.
I mean, the whole paper is wet. That's okay, but at least that window portion should be dry.
Is also wet.
Okay, you can wait for a moment. Let it dry. I'll just make the mixers of very light green color, which is quite easy. You just have to take a lot of lemon yellow and just a little bit of green. Any radiant or sap green anyone will do. Just a little bit, not much. Just like this, very lightly. You have to keep it light. A little bit of water as well to make it transparent, and just simply start with the patches. Very lightweight, transparent, very fresh colors. And if we need at some places later, we can make it darker as well. But as of now, we don't need. Just simply keep going with this lighter color. lemon yellow, and just a little bit of sap green or the wading green if you want to make it even more, to make it even look more fresher at some places. So then that is okay. Lemon yellow and the sap green. Just take a little bit of water. At some places, you can increase the quantity of what what do you say? You can increase the quantity of sap green as well to make it darker at some places.
And in between, you put Viridian directly.
No, Radiant don't use directly. You have to mix some lemon yellow as well. If you use Radiant green directly, it's gonna be very, very bright. I mean, that will distract everything. So don't use Radiant green directly. You have to mix lemon yellow.
Okay.
This right. Now I'm mixing a bit of lemon yellow and a bit of Radiant green just to change a bit of color. And some patches over here, very, very lightly. Can go over this chair at some places when it's there actually. So some leaves on this places randomly over here, but wherever you or see in the photograph, you can just give a little bit of smaller, some of them. A bit like this, some random over here, like this, some light gray over here as well, very, very lightly and very transparent. Like dark color also we're gonna apply, but not now. We're gonna make it later at some places to make the proper variation. If we do it now, it's just going to spread at every place and it's going to get darker. So I'll do it later. Very light lemon yellow and sap green here, just like this. That is enough, I think so. If there would be a need, we can give it later. As of now, it's enough. This much is enough. So this is how we're gonna give that very, very light plants everywhere. But it's going to be detailed anyway, like later only. It's not going to be detailed now. This is how you have to give this.
Aha, yaprakların içine beyazları bırakıyor. Yaprakların texture'ı çıkıyor. Well,
Just keep it light. Okay, this is how we're gonna work for this, and after this we can start with the background actually. Background also after this we can start. From the top only, it's going to be actually easy. It's not that difficult. I will just show you that how we're going to do that. Yeah, so it's going to be easy. First of all, you're gonna flow one color, then after that you're gonna flow another color on that. So it's gonna be like that. So like you're gonna take nipple silver, either yellow or you're gonna like first of all very lightly. I mean with a lot of water over there. So you can just with a lot of water, okay, just for the rooftop you can take that, and in this way you can cover the whole roof portion with that very lightly. First, that's the first thing you're gonna do over here. Then over this you're gonna leave some more color, like you can take ultramarine blue with the burnt umber, ultramarine blue and the burnt umber, and some water over there, and some water as well, because you're not going to cover the whole place with this. Like this, you can leave that color over here, like this. On
Arun,
this side
can you
only.
please repeat what did you say about these?
Okay, so first thing what you're going to do is just going to take the yellow ochre color, very light yellow ochre. You're just going to cover the whole wall portion. Then you're going to mix burnt
Okay.
umber with ultramarine blue. Then at some places you're gonna just leave some color like this. I mean, you're gonna use some patches at some places, especially at the center portion. You're gonna leave it like that only, like this here, over here. You can just leave it in this way. So at some places that yellow ochre, at some places that gray color is going to be visible. We just need a little bit of more color at some places. You can get a little bit of Prussian blue if you're having Prussian blue with yellow ochre as well at some places. So that will give you a bit of grainy stone, and which looks as well a little bit rusty effect as well. So that Prussian blue and yellow ochre at some places, that is going to be the third layer, I would say, like this. This is a way you can give that in this way. And then you're gonna lift this color back, all the color which is collected over here. So with a dry brush, it would be lifted back from there. And then you're gonna yellow ochre, either Naples yellow, anyone will do. And you're gonna leave some very dark. Okay, it's gonna be dry color. It's a solid color. If you say it's a very solid color, what I've taken, I'm gonna leave some color over there. I mean, just to give that rusty kind of effect, I would say better take yellow ochre, because yellow ochre is a much more darker color. So you can go with a bit of yellow ochre over here. Simply like this. At some place you're gonna leave that. Then what you're going to do, you're just going to some lemon yellow color. Yeah.
Varun, sorry,
Yes. Yes.
leave you. I've got some guests. I'll see your video and leave it. Sorry.
Okay.
Bye.
That's okay. So after this, what you're going to do is you're going to take lemon yellow color for the wall. Like you're going to just use lemon yellow over here first of all. Like at upside, you have used the yellow ochre. Now at this place, you're going to use a very light lemon yellow color. Okay, and this way you're going to use
So for
the
this,
lemon yellow. Yeah. Yes.
okay. So for the ceiling, we are just using patches of the colors, right? They are not mixed on the palette.
Or you can which one? Which one for the patches?
On the ceiling. On the ceiling.
Yeah. What you're asking on this, on the upside?
On the ceiling, they are all different colors which are just dropped onto the paper, not mixed
Dropped on the
palette.
paper. It can be mixed. I mean, it's going to mix because it's wet. That's the reason it's not mixing, but it has to be mixed. It's going to mix. I'm just showing it roughly, but at that portion, it's going to be mixed.
Okay.
The background will be wet. I mean, that yellow color, when you do that portion, the whole portion will be wet. So all the things are going to mix very perfectly, whatever color you will apply. So this is lemon yellow on the wall portion. Then just after doing that lemon yellow, you're gonna take your saline blue, very perfect mix. I mean, it's gonna be a dark mixer actually. So you're gonna take a saline blue over there, and you're just going to start leaving that saline blue. And as you know, like your paper has to be vertical, so then the color will come down, and you're not going to use the patches over here. This one thing you have to remember. You're just going to take the mixture of saline blue. If you use patches, it will turn into green color. You just have to take the color and just have to leave it like this. I mean, that color will just do the work with its own. You just have to leave the color. Let the color come down. I mean, if it stops like here, take color over there and just leave color from there only. So that color will come down like that. Okay, don't use patches. If you use patches, that is going to turn into green color. So you just have to leave the color over there. Make a lot of saline blue mixer and just leave it from here.
नीचे yellow color है ना? Lemon yellow.
Oh, yeah, lemon yellow. First lemon yellow you have to use, and then over that you have to use the saline blue.
Okay.
Like this. Then you're gonna get a little bit more darker blue, like can be ultramarine blue or maybe more drier saline blue. We can just leave a little bit more darker at some places. I mean, you have to be careful with this small things. I mean, the color should not go that down. So like this, we're gonna leave some darker blue as well from the edge, like this, just a little bit darker. So even that is going to come down and get mixed. It's going to be saline blue only. I mean, darker. I mean, just even with less water. I mean, in that you took more water. In this, you're gonna take even less water than that. So even this will go down and it will get merged perfectly, like this. At some places, to get a bit of dirty effect, you can get some burnt umber as well, just to get a bit of dirty effect at some places, like this. Okay, some burnt umber. You can leave some yellow ochre wherever you want to get this such dusty effect. But when you're doing this, you have to take a dry color. I mean, it's completely dry. It's completely solid. So you just have to keep that solid color over there. You're not taking any water, nothing. You just have to take that solid color of yellow ochre and just keep it like this over here. Keep that solid color over there. That's it. This is how you're going to do. And at last, with some burnt sienna or maybe some violet color, just a single line, just to differentiate the above roof and this wall portion. Or simply you're gonna make a lap line like this way. And then you're simply going to continue with the darker portion, which is here like burnt sienna, which is going to be in very dark color. You're gonna make that portion darker like this. I'm going to do it in a more slow way. I mean, we're gonna do it quite slowly, so that burnt sienna you're gonna paint here. Then simultaneously with different colors, you're gonna paint the land portion, leaving the highlights perfectly, how the highlights are there according to that. So this using different colors like violet or like yellow ochre and all the blue color and all perfectly. So we'll go a bit slowly over there. So, but this is how we're gonna work actually over there. Violet, burnt sienna, any color, whatever over here. And this is going to be done with the gray color like ultramarine blue and some yellow ochre, or maybe a saline blue with violet color, something like that. So this is going to be done with a very light gray color over here. Violet color or something like that. Here
Arun, can you slow down?
See, yeah.
You're going too fast. Just slow down, Param. few minutes.
Okay. Okay. So at this place, we're gonna use a bit of gray color. So you can just see this flow over here, how you'll get. I mean, it's gonna look very amazing if you just get, first you have to flow lemon yellow, and just over that, you're gonna flow some cerulean blue, and over that, you're gonna flow some, what we say, that ultramarine blue, maybe, or some, what we can go with, or maybe some darker cerulean blue. Just take very, very less water. So that will be very, very dark. Even that will look very, very good in that way. So this is how you're gonna do.
So this will all be wet and wet, right?
Yeah, I mean, first a particular portion like this wall you're gonna do. So you're gonna flow some lemon yellow at the first thing. Then over that blue, over that more darker blue. So that process will be done wet and wet. Then over here, this thing you can just simply continue with the burnt sienna. Then all this thing without wet and wet, you can just simply keep connecting the things and you can keep on going. Okay. So like here, you can just go get some burnt sienna, maybe some burnt umber. So there's all different colors we're gonna get. I'll be just showing that thing. I'm going to get over there. I'm just showing this is how we're gonna do, like this.
This bottom portion is between the chairs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just showing in a rough way. I mean, I'm just showing you this is how we're going to apply the color. We're going to leave the portion for the chair. I mean, while painting, you have to be very careful, and you're gonna leave the portion for the chair, not painting the chair portion. That thing you have to remember. So this is the way you're gonna paint this. I'll just go further. And what you have to do at last, I mean, this is the whole painting will be completed. I'm almost 70%. Then after that, you're gonna do every small kind of detailing, whatever is needed. Like you're gonna separate this portion with the wall, so that you'll do once the paper will get dry with a dry color, like with burnt sienna and all. So I mean, this all small things will be done later in the third layer. So this is what we'll do in the third layer, and just all the chair portion, whatever the chair portions are here, we're gonna do some detailing over that. But the upper portion, I think, so it would be almost completed. We'll not be working too much over that. So in the one floor only, the background portion, the wall portion, it's going to be get completed. We just have to work on this window perfectly after that. Windows, and then the land portion, maybe at some places we can do some finishing, some leaves, that dry leaves which is there. We can work on that places as well. So the small things we're going to work. I mean, you can make some darker patches over here in this dark color, in this wet only a little bit. So that will get some rusty effect in that way. I mean, like you see here, like this. And just one more thing you have to see, that this wall and these two walls are different. So you have to make the difference. You can just simply make a difference by using a more darker blue over here. I mean, just make a dark patch over here. So you'll get this two walls differently. I mean, you just have to make the difference here. Yeah. So in this way, you can make a difference. What this side wall has to be a little bit darker. Over, like after doing everything, you can make it darker like this. Like this. So now if you see, now that wall is separated. So this is how we're gonna do this work. So it will come quite good. I mean, you can see the flow and all. I can just see the texture. We don't have to give too much of detailing for the texture. So this is how I'll get. I mean, it's gonna look good only. If you want more texture, I mean, if you want, you can get some salt over there. I mean, at this place, so you'll get some kind of texture what you need at that place, but you'll not be able to get that yellow ochre. So, like you can go with salt as well, but you'll not get that yellow ochre thing. But salt also you have to be very, very careful. Carefully, you have to leave over there. But I think this yellow ochre will be better. Yellow ochre, when you're doing that yellow ochre thing, you have to take a dry color, or either take it directly from the tube itself. That will be more better, because you just have to get it directly. You don't have to take any water. If you take water, it's just going to flow down. You just have to take a dry color from that tube and just simply keep. You have to keep over there. I mean, it's all the dry color over here. I haven't taken any water. I haven't taken any water. It's just a dry color what I've kept over there. So this is how we're gonna do over there. So I'll just simply start now. So we got everything. Any questions before we start? Because we're going to cover everything now in one go. So
do we have to wet the ceiling?
You don't have to wet. You have to cover that with the yellow ochre. Then over that you're gonna use the color.
Okay.
You don't have to wet. You have to use a light layer of yellow ochre.
Light layer.
Light, very, very light. Then over that you're gonna use that gray color, whatever I'm going to use now. Okay. Any more questions? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So we're gonna start the same way. I mean, you can see this blue color. It's gonna look almost similar. So even this will look good. And one thing, this has to be in a gray color. And this is going to be some burnt sienna, violet color, and all this kind of color we're gonna use. So we'll just go. So let's start. Yeah, so I'm just starting. I'm just taking very light mixture of yellow ochre now. Very light mixture of yellow.
Arun, can you move your paper a little down? Arun? Arun, are you on mute?
Yes, he seems to have gone off.
Arun, you are on mute.
And you can take.
Varun, can you hear?
Yeah.
I think you went on mute. Yeah, thank you.
What? Now it is. Is it good?
Yes,
Can you
yes.
see the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. So we're just starting. I'm just taking a little bit of water, and I'm starting with the nipple silver. Nipple silver, don't make it very darker. Start with the transparent color only. Don't take the dark color directly. So I'm taking some water. You have to take water, otherwise the paper will dry very, very fast. You have to avoid the paper. We just don't have to let the paper dry very fast. You can take this lighter yellow ochre mixer.
So it's maple yellow or ochre?
Maple silver yellow ochre, anyone will be doing. It's just like maple silver is lighter. Anyone will do. It's not going to change the color.
Fine.
Very lightly. And like in the center portion, you're not going to use a lot of colors because the reflection of this background window is coming over here in the center portion, and both the sides are going to be, both the corners are going to be dark color. But the center portion is not going to be very dark. That's this one thing we have to see perfectly. Like this, I will just painted a yellow. I'll apply some. So that's the yellow what I've just applied. Now I'll be starting to apply the dark colors like ultramarine blue with burnt umber, as I told. After that, you can go with the Prussian blue with yellow. And you just have to be very, very careful that no color should flow down to the wall portion, because there's a possibility that color can flow down as well. So you have to be very, very careful with that. So after that, ultramarine blue mixer, and I'm mixing some burnt umber, a little bit of burnt umber. Ultramarine blue, some quantity should be more. So you'll get a perfect gray color. And like just in this way, how we have to do, just say what I'm just taking from the corner and I'm just leaving in this way, like this. From this side, the same, starting from the corner and leaving it in like this. That way, darker is like this. Starting from the corner and just leaving this thing in the center of it. Now, another color this is going to be that Prussian blue with yellow, which will give you the perfect effect what we need over here, that crusty effect and some kind of dirtiness effect. Prussian blue and a bit of yellow. Yellow should be more, I would say, so that you'll get a bit of greenish tone, and that's what we need over here. You don't have to take water. You remember when we wet the background thing, so you don't have to take a water. Like, so I'll take this mixer, I'll remove the water in my flow. I'll just remove the water, then I'll come over here, then I'll just simply in this way, I'll go over that. Only at the corner side, okay? You don't have to go on the center part of that.
Which color is this, Varun?
It's a Prussian blue with the yellow. Prussian blue and the yellow mixer. or just leave the center part. And one more thing, like whenever you use your stroke, you have to go in the same line. I mean, this line is like this. So when your brush stroke has, you have to move it like this only. This is a roof portion. So you have to move your brush horizontally, not vertically. So you're painting the wall portion. So at that moment, you have to use your brush vertically. And when you're painting any land portion or any roof portion like this, so we have to get this one in a horizontal way. So then you'll get the perfect kind of thing. So I'll be going further. I might use a bit more darker color at some places now in this only, because it's not looking very dark now. So I might use a bit of violet color to make it a bit darker at some places. Just a bit of violet color you can use at the corners again, just the corners only. The corner, at the corner a little bit here. Like this. And this way you can paint that portion in a bit of dark color. If you want, you can just get some texture like burnt sienna at some random way. I mean, that will give you some bad texture, some dry kind of burnt sienna in that way. I mean, that will give you some kind of bad texture like that. Some burnt sienna, you can just go with that. If you have to go and wait for a minute, then you have to make sure that it's not getting in touch with the upper portion when you do the wall portion. So I move further. Can I go further now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's time to get some lemon yellow and all. Just one thing in this weight only you can do is like you can take some yellow ochre and just keep it over there. I mean, just take a dry color. Just take that dry color. You can see I'm just taking a dry color. If you can see here, it's completely a dry solid color, and I'm just going to keep it over here. I'm just keeping that, just taking that color and just keeping it some places. So I'm just keeping a dot of that. Yes, at some places. Something like that. I'll take a violet color or maybe a burnt sienna dark patch, and I'll just after that only I'll just leave a bit of. I'm just keeping a bit of violet color as well. Very randomly.
After that, you put violet.
Violet, yeah, after yellow.
I got cauliflower now.
Yeah.
I got cauliflowers.
Okay, I'm just going to going further. I'm just going further now. Like I'll be starting with the wall portion. Like just some bad patches like that, we can just simply keep it some places. Not completely. I mean, you don't have to make it bad or something like that. So only few retaining would be enough. So let's go further. And let's start with the wall portion. I'll take some lemon yellow first of all, as I already told there. Lemon yellow with a little bit more water. And I'll just simply start with this. I'll just simply cover this small portion with this lightest lemon yellow, very, very light. Don't take it darker. If you're taking this lemon yellow very darkly, I mean, if you're making it very darker, so your blue will turn into green color. And if you're keeping it lighter, so you'll get a wonderful blue color over that. So just keep it lighter. Just keep it very light. So I'm moving further. So I'm just starting to get some. I'll give in here this side also. This side, make inside that. This side as well. You have to leave that color. Maybe if you need, you can even leave some yellow or some places. This side as well. Some lemon yellow, very, very lightly. Don't make it darker. And be very careful. The other side of that window, you don't have to go over there. That has to be left highlighted. Yeah, so let's start with that. Now I'm starting to take I'm just starting to take this one, the salient blue. I'll make a dark mixture. Okay, I'll take a dark mixture, mix it perfectly. Let's say
Varun,
I'll
your-
take the water. Water is
Varun, your sound is very low. What color is this? Only lemon yellow?
it's just a lemon yellow. That's just the upper color flowed in that. Am I audible properly?
Yeah. Now
Please increase your volume. Yeah.
Okay, am I audible now?
Still low, Varun.
Okay.
मैं तो ठीक था अभी क्या हुआ पता नहीं
Now is it okay now?
थोड़ा better.
It's fine.
Okay, so we'll move further. So I'm starting with my blue color very quick. So just be very quick, otherwise the paper will dry. You have to get the flow over there. So take some water in that salient blue and just leave over here. Just leave it over here. With salient blue. Be very careful, I would say. I mean, because the upper color might flow down. I mean, that will be okay. I mean, just this color should not flow down because there's a highlight at that place, so that might damage that as well. So have to be a bit careful. Leave some salient blue like this. Brighter salient blue with some water in that. Just a little. This portion you can make it darker. At some places, if you want, you can get a bit of darker blue, so you can get some ultramarine blue as well at some places.
You added ultramarine to the cerulean?
No, now I'm using ultramarine at this corner. Here it's just salient blue only. I just took less water. I mean, I just took more mixer, more color over there, and a little bit water, like 3 or 4 drops of water, because the background is already wet, so it's not going to. It's going to mix perfectly. Be very, very careful. You have to make a straight line over there. Just be very, very careful. Like a straight line over here. Go a bit slow. There's nothing to hurry here. Just very straight line over here as well.
You mixed ultramarine on this side of the
Yeah, this corner.
wall?
This corner. Yeah, this corner.
Bottom corner.
This one. This side. Yeah, this corner.
Okay, this entire wall.
A bit of ultramarine blue. Now I'll be getting some more darker blue because we just can't keep it that flat. So I'll be using more darker salient blue only. I'll just take it more dark in dark way. That means I'll just take less water and I'll take more color now. Just make it darker. Okay, so it's time to get the roof portion. will make it. I'm just taking more salient blue. I'm gonna very, very dark. I can just mix a bit of violet color in that. I'll not make it very, very like just completely salient blue. I'll mix a bit of salient blue and violet color a little bit, so it will get a bit darker. I'll take no water, almost no water, because the background is already wet, and I can just get that dark color quite easily. So you just have to simply add a patch like this. The color is going to mix. You don't have to worry about the color. It's just going to mix perfectly because the background is already wet and you're working in this wet portion. At some places, you can get some burnt umber as well. Some places, I mean, you get some texture with that in that way. In a very rough way. And as I told,
Can't hear you.
yeah.
Can't hear you very well, Varun.
Okay. Is it same with everyone?
Yeah, little
Okay.
volume is a little bit low. I mean, if I pay attention, I am able to get it, but it's lower.
Your voice is basically trailing off.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's better now.
Okay, so I'll go further. One other wall, you have to make it in a darker way. I'll just make it darker this side, I mean the right hand side. So I get the same salient blue and a bit of violet color, almost no water. If you want to make it even more darker, you can mix a bit of burnt umber. It will get even more darker in that way. So this side I'm making a bit darker. I'm taking a dry color over there. So just a simple patch from here to here to differentiate this two wall. You have to differentiate that two wall over here. A bit more darker color where this roof and this wall is meeting, just to differentiate that thing. So in this way you can make it darker at some places. Line has to be straight. Okay, I'll just take some kind of yellow and all. I'll just add some textures now. The textures at every places. What is needed? Yeah, like don't forget to flow some salient blue over here as well, because it was looking a bit of green color. So this side also it has to be the same blue color. So you can just leave some salient blue. Like this. And now I'm just the same thing. I'll be taking some yellow ochre now. I'll be taking that yellow ochre color and I'm just keeping it over there. I'm just taking a dry color. I'm just keeping it there. I'm audible now perfectly?
Yes.
Yes, Varun.
So this
But
yellow.
I think
Yep.
I lost some instructions. You put which one is that? Burnt umber on top or burnt sienna?
This is burnt umber.
Burnt umber and on the walls.
Burnt umber and some ultramarine blue over here as a dark color for the dark color. And now I'm using this yellow ochre to add some textures at some places. Like this. Okay, I'll just sprinkle a bit of that yellow, the dry colors. This is the dry colors. Randomly at some places like with your you can take a darker mixer, like which is ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, which is the darkest mixer. You can get that. You can take that mixer and you can just make a separate line over there. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, you can take there. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, you can take that color. It's a like dry color, very, very darkest color, and you just have to make a dark line between these two things. And it's wet only. If you make it in a after drying this paper, it's not going to look good. It's going to look like detail, but this is not a thing which we have to make it. So I'll just make a dark line just to separate these two things over there. Ultramarine blue and that burnt sienna. Like this. So I'll go further. I mean, you don't have to work too much. Just leave some yellow off and your work would be completed over there. I mean, just to separate these two walls, you can make that darker later as well. So you can make it separated later as well. So it's not necessary to do this in the wet because when you give in the wet, it might mix again. So even if you see mine, when it's mixed, so I just have to get a darker patch over there. So I'll do it later. Like this. I'll come down now. I mean, I'll come down with the darker colors now, which is here. That is going to be something like pure burnt sienna, some orange color. So now that was the quite difficult thing which we have already completed. Now we'll just move forward. Okay. Okay, done till you can you move forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go forward. So I'm just starting with the burnt sienna now. The color which I'll be taking is the burnt sienna. So let's go with that. So like here, you have to be careful. I mean, that blue color, even if it is falling down, that's completely okay. Just go very, very carefully. I'm just throwing some water first. I just left a little bit of water. So the upper color can come down and I can work with that. So I just left a little bit of water over there. So let's go. And just one lighter patch over there. So I can just separate this wall and this wall. So we can lift the color back on one of the side. So to make it darker, either of the side. So you can make it in like that way as well. I mean, what I did here is I just took a dry brush and I just lifted where these two walls are separating. So once you did that, so one of the wall will get separated from one single patch from that place. Okay. So I'm just
Why
going.
don't say that again? I
You just
didn't get it.
you just have to lift that color back from where these two walls are changing. I mean, where these two walls are separating. I mean, this is another wall, this is another wall. So in the lighter wall, you just have to take a dry brush and where on that line where from where it is changing, you just have to lift the color back. I've done.
Okay.
So
And how come your color is flowing down? It's just come accidentally, or you have made it flow
just
down?
to float some water over there, so I can work. I can work on this wet only now. I just
Achha,
left some water.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Go very, very carefully. Okay, so I'm just working with some burnt sienna now. I'm taking pure burnt sienna. Pure burnt sienna over here, and just keep it or make it darker like this. It's a pure burnt sienna. No, I would say it's a like pure burnt sienna, almost no color at all, no water at all. So like it's a pure like dry burnt sienna. You can just take that and paint this burnt sienna. Like if there would be need, we can make it even more darker later. So simply go with this. As of now, that's a pure burnt sienna, and just like after just leaving some color, just painting over that. And just be very, very careful with the chairs and all. We've got a lot of chairs. So I would say just be very, very careful.
It's only burnt sienna, right?
Just burnt sienna, no any colors are there. We'll be using more colors, but later when it will get dry. Okay. So I'm just starting to work on the floor as well now. The floor, very, very important thing. So you have to be very careful. You're not painting the chairs and all. It's a bit difficult, I would say, because you have to manage light and everything, highlights and all everywhere. So just go very, very carefully. I'm moving further. Can we go?
Yes.
I'll just move further. So like this, all small thing, you have to be a bit careful. I mean, this all colors should not go down. I mean, when it gets struck, it's very difficult to make them out. So I have to be careful with that. So yeah, now I would say just clean your palette, because we're gonna use a lot of different colors. So that has to be bright colors and all, like violet, burnt here and all. So I'll just very quick. Yeah. So I'll just clean it now and we'll go further. So like we'll be using different colors, like this burnt sienna. I'm making the mixer differently, like burnt sienna. Then we got our violet color, a bit of orange at some places. So like this, all colors will be used. So I'm starting with my violet color first. Violet color. Be careful with the chair. I mean, you're not working on the chair right now.
Varun, can you move your sheet a bit right?
That's a violet color. Then after this, I'll just change the color a little bit. It's a bit of orange. Orange a little bit. Just simply keep going with this.
Now we are making the floor, Varun.
Yeah, it's a flow now. Be careful with the highlights. Here, now you have to be very, very careful with the highlights too. You can make some linings and all.
This is again burnt sienna?
It's orange color.
Orange.
Orange. It's actually mixed with that violet color from the top, so it might be looking very dull.
All of this is orange, the floor?
Yeah, even the linings, what I'm making, that is even orange color. Now I'll take some violet. So this is how you have to keep going down. Some violet color. Like this. Some small strokes. Perfect. I mean, this has to be very, very smooth. Very sure. And I would say just keep going with this violet color very lightly. Like there's some linings. Like this. Just keep going very, very carefully there.
Varun, my orange is looking very bright. Should I add some burnt sienna or something to it?
You can add some violet color. So it will get a bit dull. Because my like I'm taking more water, so like that violet color is falling on that orange color, so it's getting a bit dull.
Hmm.
Right, so we move further. I'll just use some ultramarine blue as well. I haven't used ultramarine blue, so I'll go with some ultramarine blue. That blue shade is also very important. I'm going with some ultramarine blue, watery ultramarine blue. Burnt umber after that. So I mean, in this way, you just have to keep using different color. That's a bit tricky one here. This side of the chair at the same time. The side of the chair is going to be here. This line of the chair. It's the side of the chair, what I've just painted here. Like this. You can take a bit of bigger brush and you can just keep on going. Taking a bit of wallet. Put some water and just be careful with the highlights and all. That's the only thing you have to see. Ultramarine blue. Again. Some ultramarine blue here. Here, just be very careful because you have to leave a small bit like highlights over here. It's not any. It's not. There is no shape over here, so you have to leave it very, very carefully. Like this. And take some violet color. Like you have to keep changing the color like this. It's very, very difficult over here. So I just be very, very careful. Just like this. I'll take some orange color and all. It's like you have to keep going. Flavia, you're getting the effect properly? You going to go here?
I'm trying, Varun.
Okay. It's time to get some orange over here.
Which was the color before this? What color is this? This is burnt sienna again.
The one which I'm applying now,
Yeah.
it's orange with a little bit of violet color. Just orange, just a little bit of violet color. Orange color a little bit. Even here you can get that color a little bit, like which is that one. Prussian blue of it, a little bit of yellow for that 20 stone. Well, it will look very good here as well. So I'm just getting the same color, Prussian blue and a bit of yellow over here at this corner. So that's gonna look amazing. Prussian blue and the yellow at the corner. So like that kind of 20 stone you will get here. And just be like very, very careful with the edges and all. You don't have to go over that chair. The highlights and all, you have to leave it very, very careful. Like this. So I think the shadow is like the highlights are quite enough. Right. Like this. So this is how you have to keep going. Some wallet color from top as well, like to make it darker at some places. Like you can take some wallet and some burnt sienna mixed with it. Wallet and burnt sienna from top. I mean, at some places it has to be darker. So like near the shadow here, you can get a bit of darker. At some places randomly, like this wallet color over here, where this wall and this portion, this another wall and this land portion is getting. Over there you can, by taking less water, you have to take wallet color and very less water. There's a bit of bonds here in that, but take very less water. Some dark colors like randomly in this land portion. Like that wallet color and bonds here. Just get it.
Just first you did yellow.
Right?
On the right side.
No, it's Prussian blue with yellow.
You mixed it in the palette?
Yeah, I mix it in the palette only. Wow. So this is how I can just keep on going. Like this way, like I would say this portion is done. Don't work on this portion more. We have to paint that back portion of that as well. I mean that gray color one, that is actually light one, so I thought I would paint that later. This is how we can go with the okay. So you can get a bit of orange color, maybe some orange or some burnt sienna inside this as well to make it connected. Actually, this is directly getting completely getting directly it's getting cut over there. So what you can do here, for me it's like that, but if you're getting the perfectly gradation over there, so that's okay. So you can get some burnt sienna, something like that at the edge, just to make this separate now. Like some linings, and just remember one thing, like whenever you're going to work here, you're just going to move your brush or horizontally, not vertically, because this all land, everything is done in a horizontal way. So even your the brush strokes, whatever you're going to move here, even that is going to be done in a horizontal way, like this. There was some darker color over here also at the foreground only. That might look quite good over there. And that's it. Now I will wait for like a couple of minutes, and we just have to paint the background thing and just some detailings on the chairs and all. It will get completed.
Arun, did you do the shadow of the chair by any chance? No, no?
Which one? Can you repeat?
The shadow of the chair. Have you done that? Or
This one?
shadow, you had sketched the shadow of the chair, right?
Yeah.
So have you painted that?
No, I mean I've just left that post. I'm not getting
You've not yet done that, right?
yeah, I mean that thing has to be highlighted. I haven't painted the chairs. Paint has the chairs are going to be done later. Here we've got this small highlights that have to be left perfectly. And the highlights are, I mean, this is enough for the highlight. We'll just paint a little bit this portion in dark color and this wall a little bit in dark color. And just some background chairs and work will do. It will get completed. We're not working more on this. It's getting a little bit late today. I mean, about 15 to 20 minutes from now. Now it's actually the whole thing is in one tone only. We just have to make it different by making this center thing different. So it would just get completely different everything. We have to make this in a light color. So this window will come out in a more better way. So that's what I'm look amazing in that way. I'm just waiting for 1 minute because we're only getting late. So after this, I'll just paint the background of wall portion and I'll paint a chair then. Just waiting for a minute. Just like waiting here. Can we go further now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll move further. We'll just paint the background thing as well now. Because the background has to be a little bit light color, so we can get some a little bit ultramarine blue and some mix of yellow. We just have to get a very light gray color. That's what we need over there. So you have to take more water. That's one of the most important things. You have to take more water in the background. Like you're gonna keep changing the color. So I started with the ultramarine blue and burnt sienna as of now. It's a very light color. It's a very light color. I'll take some yellow for at some places now. I'll take some yellow also. I'll take some burnt sienna. Then again, I'll take some ultramarine. So like this is how I'm just going to keep changing the color. But the quantity of ultramarine blue, that gray color has to be more. That's it. That's what you have to do here. The quantity of gray color. It should just look like a gray color. That's it. And you can take some violet color as well. Violet color. And take some violet color. Be very careful over here because this can get in contact with this, so it might get it wrong. Some violet color here. I'll go very carefully, like a little bit. Very light violet color. This is what I'm using right now. Some ultramarine blue while doing the same thing. So when you paint this thing, that the background window is just going to come out very beautifully. So I look perfect at that place. So we're just going further, like here, as I told, just keep going with the gray color over here, and ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, some violet color at some places. So this is what you have to keep using there. And like if the color is flowing downwards side, that's completely okay. I mean, it's not going to look bad. Okay. So after this, like we are just left with the chairs and all, a little bit dark layers at some places. So I'm just covering that gray color, ultramarine blue and some burnt sienna. Keep it lighter, take more water, be very, very careful with the chairs over here. Chairs, what you can see, because those are the things which you have to be very, very careful. You just don't cover that area. Paint between the chairs. Careful with the highlights. Go a little bit slowly. Go a little bit slowly over here. Very light violet color. Very light violet color. Like this. So I'm just using very, very light violet color. That is going to give a perfect shade of that. Wherever you have left the space for that leaves, you can just leave it over there. Love, you're getting this thing perfectly. How's it going till now?
Uh, some blunders are there, Varun.
So here are the same, a bit of violet color. Keep going with that. Leave the place for the leaves again. Carefully. I'll just take a little bit more light violet color and just keep going with that. And like we just have to do some dark color finishing part and all after this. The most importantly, the chairs. And just end it in this way. I'll wait for 2 minutes and I'll just start with the last final touches. I mean, the whole second layer is done. Now just third layer editing is done. Now if you see only that window and everything, this is which is visible. Now when we just make it detailed and all, whatever dark values, what you have to add, so it's just going to come out more beautifully. Just waiting for a couple of minutes, then we have to go further with all the last final touches. Let it dry completely. That's the main thing. It's very, very wet. And just make it dry. If it's not drying with the head, that will be fast. Waiting for the last minute. Can we go further now? Everyone?
Yes, Varun.
Okay, just the last thing what we're going to do now. So I would just stay for like last 10 minutes. Just some last final touches. We'll do this thing. Yeah, almost like everything is done. We just have to do all the like detailing and all that some last stage. So first of all, the first thing we'll do is the chair. So you have to make sure that the background is dry. Is it dry, everyone? The background should be dried for doing the chairs.
Yes, mine is dry.
Yes,
Everyone?
mine is good.
Okay, so let's go with that. So it's gonna be easy. I don't have to work too much though. Like orange color. And actually, is bright color. So orange is a very bright color. We have to use that first, and on that we can use some darker color. So I'll be just using a little bit light orange over there. Light orange, very light orange. This one. I'm using very light orange. And one other side you have to leave highlight. If you haven't used a masking fluid, so one side you have to leave it highlighted. You can use lemon yellow with orange color to make it more brighter, because we need very bright color over there. And one other side actually has to be highlighted. Like this. So like one other side, I'm just leaving it as a highlight.
You've used only orange?
Lemon yellow or a little bit of orange. Both the colors on.
Lemon yellow and orange.
Yeah. Like this. At some places in the sweat only, I'll make it darker as well. Or lemon yellow with a bit of orange color. Yeah, keep coming down, make the legs of that same. You can take very light violet color, and mix it with orange. Make some shadows on the seat over here. Just make the seat over here like this. So look good. Like this. Orange color again. Lemon yellow and a little bit of orange color, but this one is a little bit darker, I would say. So you can make the legs with that. It has to be straight. Just same over here. All the things like all the strings, how it's going, you can just make those things over here now. So all the legs of that chair. And just at some places we have to get a bit of darker color as well. Like you can get some wallet with burnt sienna, and that could be a very darkest color. Like don't take much water in that. Wallet with burnt sienna, and at some places, like the upper portion of it has to be in dark color. Like this. Like this thing as well. Like a little bit like this. At some places as well, you can just make it darker. Like this portion, you can make it darker. A little bit here. This way. We can make this detailed a little bit. So at some places in the leg as well, you can take some ultramarine blue with burnt sienna. And at some places, not at every place, at some places you're gonna make it dark. Just at some places only. The same way, you're gonna make it here as well now. Another one. Like if there would be any more detail needed, I'll do that later. I mean later, like there is some highlight I can do with white color as well. So I'll do that thing later. So the same thing, that orange color over here, orange with some burnt here, and this time a little bit darker only because there's no highlight coming over. So this is a bit darker, and all this line has to be straight. Okay, be very careful. Like this. This patch is like this. Simply this way. And then you're gonna paint the shade. You can take some ultramarine or maybe some cerulean blue would be good. I mean, that's quite a bright color for this thing, so it's going to look good. So very light cerulean blue, leaving some of the highlights over there. Like this, very light cerulean blue, and you just have to leave some highlight over there.
But in the previous one, we used violet, right? So
previous one was violet.
colors. Yeah. So it's okay to use two different shades for the chairs next to each other.
You can go with that, but I think cerulean blue will give more better lighting effect over the second one. Violet is also okay. I'm using just cerulean blue over here. Very light cerulean blue. You can take a bit of burnt umber. Like this. And shadows. This is how you have to work with here. Then, like again, the same thing for the legs. You're gonna make the orange color for the legs. You're using the orange color for the legs again. When we give the dark thing and the highlight thing, it's just going to come out. I mean, that will be the depth of the painting, and this all chairs will just come out very beautifully. So like that's orange color. I'll make it a little bit as some places. I'll make it darker, and even highlights I'll add later, like some places with white color. I mean, so those all small minute detail stuff, like you just make it look realistic over there. Yes. So I think these chairs are, for now it's done. I mean, I'll make it darker later. So when I'll make it darker, so this whole thing will come out in a very good way. It looks just completely three-dimensional. So it's just one base layer, you can say, as of now. Just simultaneously, you can take sap green or maybe wading green with some lemon yellow, and you can make a little bit leaves as well darker. At some places, you can make a little bit of leaves darker. That is going to look amazing. I mean, at some places, you can just make it darker. Not every leaf, but just some leaf has to be darker. It's going to look good. Okay, in this way, at some places, it can look amazing. I mean, it will just give a very good, amazing dimensions. Some patches or with that green color, and you can make it darker. Like this. At some places, you can see how this thing is coming out very beautifully. So this thing will look very good after just giving some dark colors or some places.
Varun, what color is the screen?
I just sap green with lemon yellow quantity of sap green.
Oh.
Just add some places on the top. And I think for the plants, I think it's almost done. I'm not working on the plants, more just some railings of that window we have to give, and just some detailings on the chest. That's it. We'll complete the. Like you can take a small flat brush, like a small flat brush you can take. Just a very small flat brush, and we just have to add a single patch at one place. So that will just make it look differentiated from our wall and the land. A burnt sienna and just a little bit of violet color. You have to take a small flat brush and a patch over here. Over here. This is what we need. You see, just after making that darker, everything will come out very good in a very good way. Like some textures with a dry brush like this, and the flat brush. If you're having that, otherwise even round brush you can use. It's not important that you have to go with this flat brush only. Yeah, look good. Like this thing you can see just after making this small thing. So the whole thing is coming out very good, in a very good way. Okay, so this is how I just do this thing. I could just get completed with this. Maybe not less with much work. Some textures, dry textures, you can just make it here. I mean, just don't take water, no, don't even color, don't take even color over there. And just with the dark color, you can just make it down. So that texture will come out in a very good way. Just some dark lining and all this small details how you can just make it like that. So I think that's it. I mean, just leave that background thing. I mean, you don't need to do too much of details. But you do have to separate this that wall portion with the land portion. When here, the same thing will continue to. This is ultramarine blue with the burnt sienna. And what I'm working here is I'm just separating the wall portion and this wall portion and the land portion which is there. So this is just a separating part. It's just a separating thing here. So just take a small brush, make a dark line over there. Just make a dark line. Like this. So this way you can just make a bit dark over here at this place. So it's just going to get separated. That's what you need. Just need to separate that thing. That is completely enough. And with a finger, actually, you can just small up here. I mean, you can just mix this thing with the fingers just simply. You can just simply mix that place. I'm just going to mix it completely over there. Simply like that. And now it's almost completed. Just some lining on the windows and some detailing on the chest. 5 more minutes. like what we are left with. It's just like some dark or the chairs and railings over here. That's what we are left with now. Sorry, with dark patch will give you bad image. My mistake. Yeah. So I'm just doing the last work now. Like this is the last thing which I'm working on now. I'm just making it darker. Like I mean the chair. Just making the chairs a little bit darker. Okay. As I told, this is the last thing what we're working on now. Leaves we have already done. Everything is completed. Now just the background or railings we have to give after this chair. So the chair what I'm making now, it's a vermilion with violet color. I've mixed both the color and violet quantity I've taken more vermilion and a violet color, vermilion quantity is more. So you'll get a kind of reddish browning color. That's what we need here. That kind of golden color. Just like this.
Varun, can you repeat that again, please? What you just said?
Oh, it's a vermilion with violet color. What I'm using, you'll get a kind of reddish brown color. So that's what I'm using for this shade over here.
Vermilion with what?
Violet. Violet quantity is more.
Violet. Okay, thank you.
Quantity of violet should be. This is an important thing you have to see. It's almost done only. I mean, just 2 more minutes. So it got a bit late. Actually, I was out, so I mean, I haven't got time to sketch. So because of sketching, it's taking this time. Just some dark lines or to the legs as well. The same way, a little bit dark line to the legs.
Arun, I have a question.
Yes.
That orange we did earlier, we completely covered it. So what is,
Yeah,
why
this
do we?
here I'm covering that. Here I'm covering that,
Even-
but at the bottom portion, I'm not covering everything. If you just see it carefully, half I have left and a half of this I have covered with the dark color.
Even the highlight we have covered now. Right?
Yeah, even the highlight you can cover. Here actually in this set there's no highlight coming. This highlight was coming here only. In this
Where,
chair, just a small highlight is there. That's not important. Here it's not. There's no highlight at all on the second chair. So we can cover that thing.
Oh, can cover it? Okay, fine.
So just a bit dark color to the bottom portion of that chair. With your a bit violet color. It's going to look even more better. Just some linings. The same that vermilion and the violet color. This is what I'm working now. Like this.
Are you going to make the other chair also dark?
Not completely, just a little bit on the leg maybe, but not completely like this. It's not gonna be dark like this because on that some of the highlights are coming. So just 1 or 2
Okay.
patches on the legs. I mean that not two. I'm not completely covering that. Just 1 or 2 lines at some places, like this 1 or 2 lines over here, just below or where this things are here. Just a little bit dark patch. Just a simply here where this land portion and this is the thing over here. Like this. Just
Okay.
simply a dark color. Like that's it. I mean, the chair. I think it's completed now. I'll not work on this. I mean, I just add a bit of white highlight. That would be the last thing. White highlight is quite important at some places. Yeah, for the chair, it's enough. And simultaneously, when you're
Varun,
doing
I'm
this,
still
yes. Yes,
I'm
Kavya, you're
still
saying something.
wondering. Yes, I'm still looking at the shadow of the chair. I mean, the back of the chair had a reflection on the in the front side where we have the grills,
Yeah.
right? So, are you going to avoid that now?
Which one? This one?
Yeah, at the bottom, lower. No,
The
on the
bottom
opposite the chair. Yeah,
opposite the chair. Ashtam, this one?
down on the land portion. On the land
On
portion.
the line, this one?
In the yeah. So you had a shadow in the front with the back chair this thing
Yeah.
impression.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
I mean,
that has been
okay. I mean, that is
that
a
has
little bit small things are there. I mean, some linings over there. Only that things are needed. And rest you can just go with the same. I mean, I've done the same thing. Just like one or there's a last leg of this chair, so you can paint a little bit dark color of that. And the shape is perfect. You can just go with the same. I'm gonna leave it like that.
okay.
That's it. And I'm just it's just completed though. I will just work on the last thing, which is the window portion, and it's actually completed. With this only, like with the same color, you can just do last thing over here. Like you can make some tiles over here with this in the same like parallel line. What we have here, like the same parallel line. With this. It's gonna be same parallel line, so we can just simply make some lines. Same parallel line to that wall. Like this. So some linings. So that's gonna look even more better. So that's it. I think I'll just put some lining. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna lightly with some water over there. And just some lining at last. It has to be very quickly. I mean, this is a very important thing. So just go very carefully. Okay, just go very careful. And just some straight lines. We can just make this according to our comfort because it would be very difficult for me to. Yeah. It's ultramarine blue with burnt sienna and some water in it. I mean, it has to be transparent. It's not be very dark. It has to be transparent. So take some water over there.
Okay.
Ultramarine blue and that burnt sienna and some water. I'm saying to take some water because, like, if there would be any need to, so you can make darker at some places later as well. In this wet only. So that's the reason I'm trying to make it a little bit with water. A little bit after this, at some places take the darker color and just touch inside that because we have already made it dark. We have already made it wet. So at any place wherever you touch, it will get darker. Just like this, a single patch. And it's done, I think, so for me now. So I got a bit late now, but it's completed.
That's okay then.
Actually, I was out, so I haven't got any time to sketch. So
Did you go to the gateway today? Gateway of India?
yeah, like actually, like every Sunday in Mumbai, we urban sketches group go to paint outside in morning.
Yeah.
Every part of Mumbai, so it was the same thing.
Right. But is it allowed there to do that?
Yeah.
Is
No,
it
actually, like
allowed?
we are the group. We take permission beforehand.
You take permission. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's not allowed. I mean, to paint in the such areas, but we do take photos.
Okay.
That's it. Now just waiting. Let's complete. I'm not working on this one.
Varun, branches we have to make or no?
Branches, yeah, branches a little bit. I forgot that. Branches a little bit at some places. The dark line over here is good. When this thing also you don't have to forget. There's a dark line over here, so which is going to differentiate with your window and of course this some small branches at some places. I mean, with very small brush. I mean. I mean, I'm not giving too much. You can use some white color. White color I'm not using enough. I have to search because that's inside my bag. So I'll have to search. So white color, you can just take it and you can use some white color on the branches at some places. Some of the branches you can keep it highlighted. I mean, I'm just making few only. I'm not making more because it might look very over detailed. So I'm just keeping till here only. That's it. So that's it. I'm just waiting as minute for any questions. It's done now.
Branches, which color have you used? Burnt umber.
Where?
For the tree, for the branches.
Yeah, burnt umber with some wallet or any burnt cyan also. You can, that's okay. Let me know if it is done. If there are any questions, anything to ask, it's done.
वरुण,
Yeah.
ये जो wall and window के बीच में एक blue something is there. We've left it white. So should we do a little light blue there? You see the
Which one?
जो window और wall है, top and
Yeah,
left. Yeah, ये थोड़ा light blue होना.
Light blue हम लोगों ने किया था ना? I mean, we have done that light before. I mean,
अच्छा,
it's
वो जो
looking very, very light. It's looking very, very light for me now. I mean, it's in the camera actually, but it's okay when I'm staying in person. If you feel that it's very, very light, you can make it a bit darker.
मतलब blue कर दूं उसको?
Yeah. A little bit lighter. I mean, but a little bit lighter than this. Okay, it has to be lighter than this.
Yes. और वरुण
You
वो
know.
दोनों walls को differentiate करेंगे क्या?
I don't think so because वो थोड़ा problem create नहीं कर रहा है. Because हमारा focal point ये है. If we do that thing as well, पूरा focal point चला जाएगा. So leave it.
और वो I think वो brown की वजह से हो ही गया है distinguish जो नीचे.
Yeah, and yeah, हम लोग ने यहाँ pick कर दिया है, तो I mean that is separate.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Maybe some leaves you can just make it. One or two like that.
Well,
Lot of
your
style
screen is not clear.
It's not clear.
It's coming. It's like getting very blurry, giving very blurry effect.
Is it?
No, it's clear for me.
Oh, might be this.
Network issue might be there for you.
Yeah.
Just with some lemon yellow and a bit of yellow, just randomly using this thing. There is a dry leaf at some places fall in there. Randomly at some places. That's it. I've completed. Let me know if it's on any questions are there. Let me know, and I'll end the meeting within 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm waiting. Okay, so just got it. Completed, Sati?
Yes, Varun. I'll just send the picture. Thank you, Varun. Bye.
Thanks, Varun.
Yeah. Send the picture once it is done. So shall we all end the meeting? Any questions before we end? Sure.
Can you look painting and see if you need to fix anything? I just sent it on the group.
Yeah. Okay. It's looking good. Maybe we can do one thing that the sit over here we can make it a little bit darker.
Which one?
The sit. I mean the sit place.
Darker करूँ जो edge है.
Just not the edge. I mean this what for light दिख रहा है. So light दिख रहा है इसको इससे this highlight is not coming. और highlight for दिखेगा तो अच्छा लगेगा. So थोड़ा सा dark you can do a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. सिर्फ एक chair पे वरुण?
Yeah, थोड़ा सा. And yeah, that's everything is looking good. इस तरह से कुछ lines वगैरह if possible so वो थोड़ा खालीपन थोड़ा बढ़ जाएगा. इस तरह से tiles what I've added here.
हाँ ठीक है.
So shall we end?
Yes.
Branches. What did you? What color you use for it?
It's a burnt umber with violet color. So I'm ending it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Varun. Good night.
Thank you, Varun. Yours is looking very pretty though.
Thank you, but still a lot of work. I mean, it might have better.
You used some white highlights, you said, with the pen. Did you say that?
No, I haven't used it yet, but I told that you might use some white color for some of the branches.
For the branches?
Yeah, for the branches, if you see here carefully, we have got some highlights here. This is in white color.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so much of
Do a little
detail.
bit of that. So,
Okay,
bye.
well. Thank you so much. Good night.